Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and remember, Context is Everything Media Network founder and CEO John Michael is reading another textbook cover to cover. This textbook is from 1940. 1940. That is when this book is from. It is an American history textbook from a Catholic school. Chapter 4, New France. Section 3, Father James Marquette and Louis Joliet. James Marquette. James Marquette was born in France. His parents were important people in the town where they lived. They were known for their piety. His mother was related to the great Saint Jean-Baptiste de la Salle and the founder of the Christian Brothers. James Marquette was 17 years old when he began his studies in the Society of Jesus. After completing his course, he became a priest. He was sent to America. At Quebec, he worked hard to learn the customs and language of the Indians. Marquette's first mission. Marquette's mission was 32 years old when he was sent. Father Marquette was 32 years old when he was sent to his first mission. This was located in Lake Superior. Later, he moved to the Spirit of Mackinac, in which Lake Huron, Lake Michigan, which connects Lake Huron and Lake Michigan. There he built a little chapel with walls of bark. The new mission was called St. Ignaz. There he instructed the Indians in the truth of religion. Father Marquette worked with all his strength to make the lives of the Indians happier and better. The search for the Great River. Several times Father Marquette had heard stories about the Great River to the west. He thought that this might be a passage to the Pacific Ocean. The English, Dutch, and French explorers were all searching for such a passage. Father Marquette heard something that made him very happy. On the Feast of the Immaculate Conception in 1672, the governor of New France had ordered Louis Joliet, a fur trader, to search the great river to the west. Father Marquette was to go with Joliet. He was to act as chaplain and to report on everything they saw. The following spring, they were able to begin their journey. The party was made up of Louis Joliet, Father Marquette, and 4 other Frenchmen. They took some smoked meat and Indian corn for food supplies. The expedition was placed under the protection of the Immaculate Conception. Route of the missionary. The little party had in 2 birch bark canoes paddled along the west shore of Lake Michigan. They had paddled up Fox River as far as the portage on the Wisconsin River. A portage means a carrying place. There, the canoes had been to be carried to the Wisconsin River. They paddled down the Wisconsin River, and in a week's time, they were at the Great River. It flowed to the south. The Indians called this river Mississippi, which means Father of Waters. Mississippi means the Father of Waters. This was in 1673. The Mississippi. The canoes floated easily on this mighty river. The current was swift and strong. Almost without effort, the party was carried mile after mile until they reached the mouth of the Arkansas River. Here, Father Marquette noticed there was scarcely any more woods or mountains. The islands are covered with shrubs, but we could not see any deer, buffalo, or swans. They were now sure that the Mississippi did not flow into the Pacific Ocean. They realized that it was not a passage to the Pacific. It would be useless to go further south. It now seemed wise to return home. The return trip. Going back was hard work. The travelers had to paddle their canoes against the current. Instead of returning, they went by the way of Wisconsin River. The party went by way of the Illinois River. The journey was hard on everyone. Father Marquette felt the hardship. Most of all, he was daily growing weaker. Louis Jolliet left the party and went on ahead. He wished to report the discovery of the Great River to the French governor at Quebec. Father Marquette's last mission. Father Marquette at last succeeded in reaching the mission of Lake Michigan. Father Marquette was at last succeeded in reaching one of the missions on Lake Michigan. There he hoped to rest and recover his health. He did improve for a time. While his strength lasted, he traveled as much as he could among the Indian tribes. He felt his end was near and hoped for one last chance to speak to the Indians. He sent word that a meeting would take place. The meeting took place in a large Indian village. 600 campfires blazed. Father Marquette said Mass for Indians on Easter Sunday. Then he set out for St. Ignace, the place he loved to call home. The journey home. A number of Indians went part of the way with him. The party could not travel very fast, for Father Marquette was very ill. Finally, the little party had to halt. Father Marquette died, saying, "Mother of God, remember me." The burial. Father Marquette's worn-out body was buried near the banks of the river that now bears his name. The next spring, some of the Indians placed his body on birch bark coffin. They took it back the old mission he loved. As they came near the chapel, the party was met by 2 Jesuits. They recited the prayers of the dead. Father Marquette's body was buried beneath the floor of the chapel of St. Ignace. The importance of these French discoveries. The report of this journey of Louis Jolliet and Father Marquette caused great excitement. The explorers had gone far into explore unexplored territory. France claimed all the land discovered by Louis Jolliet and Father Marquette. The value of this land would be great indeed if France could build up trade with the Indians. And that's it. Goodbye. Love ya. Toodaloo. Thank you. God bless. Yes.